I wanted to demonstrate the assignments because that was the whole point that I wanted to show you guys. And I'm recording, so if people want to watch this section of it, let me go ahead and show you guys already what I was talking about, and I will share my screen with you. Again, okay, let's see, let's open up. There it is. Okay, so it is still open. And let me go to this, go back and share the screen with you all. Okay. All right, so let's move this back up again here. All right, so let's go back to that, the online course that we're looking at, that you're enrolled in. All right, so we were looking at the syllabus, and let me just show you. Basically, it's giving you an idea of what how your course would look like. Here's your course information, your meeting time. This one here is an example, but if an instructor decides, to your question, Yolanda, if your instructor decides that they want to meet maybe once a week just to touch base with you, they can put their meeting times here. And in this sample course, it's 8 to 9, once a week, and just to touch base. But it's up to the professor if he or she will want to do so. And then here's the assignment groups, the type of assignments, like I was telling you, it'd be a discussion, essays. The weight of each, 40% of your grade is going to be, your participation in discussion, your essays, your final paper in this sample course. This is a sample course, so this is a sample syllabus. It only has one page, kind of an example of what you can expect in a syllabus. Again, this is not a real course, but it's a sample course of what you will expect to look at the formatting of your class and your course. So let's go to what I was going to say. I wanted to show you week 1 because you can see what I mean by the type of assignments. So you go into week 1, and here the sample course is Global Mission of the Church, and here you see how the instructor kind of lays out for you what they want you to look at. This course will provide an overview of the origin and progression of God's mission for the church and its global call. It will offer tools to facilitate a holistic mission within your ministry and church locally and globally, and then tells you what the focus will be on, what is God's mission, why study the biblical, theological, historical foundations. Let me see if I need to accept anybody else. All right, making sure everybody's been accepted that is coming on. Let me look real quick. I want to make sure. Yep. All right. And then okay, they're wanting, let me see where that is. I'm sorry, I want to try to let some other people in. Let me see, where is that? There we go. There you go. Hi, Cecilia. Welcome back. Sorry about that, everybody. I got actually kicked out of my other link, and so now I had to start another one for you. So I'll start adding more people as they start to come back. So like I was just explaining right here, this is an example of what your first week would look like in this tutorial of online. So we created this one so you kind of get a feel what the online learning environment will be within Populi, and this is kind of an example. And so it gives you, basically, this instructor wanted to give you an introduction to biblical foundations. They provided a PowerPoint you can download and look at the information within that structure. Let me go back. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so now the layout you'll notice is, again, you have pages, and this is within this lesson plan, which is week 1, and it'll have for you welcome, and those are the 3 items that you saw. Then reflection and discussion and essay assignment. Those are within this week. So let's click on on reflection and assignment. So here, the instructor has provided for you, this is what they want you to do, and they gave you also when it's due and it's submitted. So basically, in this course, this is one of the texts. It's by Cardosa Orlandi, that's him. And so what the instructor wanted you to do here, what approach to mission does Carlos F. Cardosa Orlandi present in the video? And in our text, Cardosa explains that the mission is lived, interpreted, or written from a double identity. We have been the object of the mission, and we are subjects of the mission, while the video asserts the influence of Global South on the mission. So now this is what the instructor wants you to do. Comment on his proposal by Thursday, 11:59 p.m. In a brief reflection of 200 to 300 words to generate discussion with classmates. Reply to at least 2 classmates' responses by Saturday, 11:59 p.m. So in this assignment, so you start on Monday, right? By Thursday evening, in this one assignment for this week, the instructor wants you by that Thursday. And I think what's going to happen, I think it's going to be Wednesday night, I think in Dr. Irvin's for the discussion, 11:59. So you basically have those two, you have those days to look at the video, look at your text, and then write a reflection, 200 to 300 words to generate discussion with classmates. Reply to at least 2 classmates by Saturday. So not only are you going to respond by this due date of Thursday, but then by Saturday, everybody's responding, and so you need to, as yourself, need to respond to 2 other colleagues or classmates to their post, and that's the requirement. So let's go, for example, let's say you're in this class. Let's go to the discussion. You click on that, and here you'll notice again you have it, and you have here on this side the points that it's going to give you. When it's due by, the requirements, post at least 1 comment, and it tells you how many points, right? So your first response of those 200, what is it? It was 200, 300 words is worth 10 points. If you post at least 2 replies, it's going to be, that's an equivalent of 2 points per reply, and then at least one reply to the instructor. It will give you points for that. Let me see, I want to make sure if anybody else is wanting to get on. Okay, let me give, I'm just making sure I'm getting everybody. All right, and so let me get back to this. I'm sorry, this is, oops. No, didn't need to do that. Okay, let me close that. Admit. All right, Lucy, good. All right. Okay, so basically that gives you an example of what that, okay, so now here, what I wanted to show you is, this is an example of a student's reply, okay? So when you respond, you basically, this is what your response will look like. Okay, so you have this, the student's reply here is, this is their response, and then here's the instructor replying to that. So what I like you to do as you're going through this, I want you to notice, what the student responded, plus, what the instructor, that's what you'll find. And so let's say if you were in this class and you were going to reply and you're going to post something, you basically are going to go to the bottom, and here's where you begin to type in your response. What some people do sometimes, they'll maybe type it in Word, right? And make the reply and have all the corrections and everything that they want, and then just copy and paste and put it here. And then you upload it by clicking Add Comment is how you would join the discussion. And then how do I reply to a classmate? So if you were in this particular course, right, and you say, oh, I want to respond to student 1, you simply press reply, and there's where you would reply, okay? So that's how you want to do in your discussion. So basically, how did I do that? You could your discussion's either found within the lesson, right here, reflection and discussion, that's where you go. Or you can go to discussions, and there's the first discussion right there. You click there, and it takes you back there. Okay? So that is the example for what it's going to look like for you when you do your discussions. Let me double check if anybody else is coming on. All right, I think we got them all. Okay. All right, so.
Doctor, I do have a question.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, I can hear you, Cecilia.
Playing around with that, I think it was this morning.
Yes.
And I was taking notes.
Yes.
I didn't know what I was doing. And I clicked and it appears as a response, but that is so not a response. Can you delete it? I was taking notes.
Yeah, no problem. That's
no
problem.
I mean, that is not a response. I was just playing around with
you
it.
know what? And if I would encourage, let me just say this. If some of you want to reply, feel free to do so, because I can even give you some feedback as to, hey, this might be helpful, so that it'll kind of give you an idea of how you want to respond. And it's not for any grade. It's just for you to know what an instructor will want you to put. And that may be helpful for some of you. If you feel free to do that in any of these reflection and discussion, because there isn't any grade. It's just for you to kind of get a sense. For example, let me give you another. So that's for this first. If you notice how it's laid out,
I'm not having ice cream.
You know, see, if you notice, it's so we're in week 1, right? So week 1, you're going to notice 1.1, 1.2 refers to that first week. If you go to the next lesson, week 2, you have 2.1, 2.2, because it's reflecting to week 2. So that just kind of gives you an idea. Why is that important? So let's say when you go to your assignments, they're all laid out that way. So you kind of know where they're at, you know, and when you go on assignments, you'll be able to see what type of assignment it is, the discussion, essay discussion, the type, the name of your assignment, the amount of points that it's worth, and then when it's due, when it's available for you. And obviously if you were graded, you would get your grades as well. Here, up on top, these are the different groups that you have, discussion, essays, and I told you, like your final paper. So let's go to, let's say for week 2, it's talking about what is history? Why should we study the history of missions in a global context? Comment on his proposal by 1159, and actually this is Elizabeth Elliot, and it's her testimony. And so, you know, that's another example there. You can, I'm sorry, it does that sometimes when I'm going too fast. So that's just reflection for 2, right? For week 2, and then week 3, you'll have another. There's another reflection comment, and here you have. And again, this course, a sample course, was about missions, right? Global missions. So it's pertaining to that. And then here's an African scholar. Do you agree with Lamin Sana's view that the future of Christian mission in a changing world YouTube video? So, and so if some of you want to watch this, and you know, you're not going to be held up to this, but you can feel free to go ahead and put a comment. You go to the discussion after you watch it, and I can give you some feedback as to, hey, yeah, that's really good insight. Maybe you want to focus on this, so that when you begin to respond in your discussions, it'll help you. So you click on discussion. Again, it'll take you to that very same discussion, and this is where you would either write or copy and paste, and then you add your comment. So, all right, so that's for example the discussion. Let me show you quickly the essay. All right, so here's the essay, and in week 1 you have pretty much what is required here. You're going to see the instructor says he wants you to read the section on holistic mission, which is in this document, but it's basically starts on page, where is that? Here it is. And you can download this. Here it is, Holistic Mission by Renee Padilla. You read it, right? The section that you have to read. And then after you read it, by Sunday, 11:59, write 500 to 600 word essay on Padilla's view on holistic mission, his biblical basis, and the role of the local church. Interact with him and the viability such perspective has for your ministry in the ministerial setting. Okay, so in this example, this is what the instructor wants you to do, is to interact with a document here. Okay, and as you want to submit, once you've read it and you've taken note of what they're asking you to do, it's asking what's his view on holistic mission, what is his biblical basis, in other words, what scriptures does he use, and what is the role of the local church. And then what it says, interact with him. You know, and this is just a tip for you as you're doing these assignments. When you look at an instruction, key into the verbs that the instructor uses. Okay, let's look at this. It says view, and then it says interact. So that's basically what the instructor wants to see when you're basically interacting. You're gonna go interact with what Padillas have said, but he wants you to wants to see if you're going to interact with what his holistic mission is, what his biblical basis is for the local church, and then how that applies to your ministry or ministerial setting. So let's go, for example, let's go to submit the assignment.
I'll call you back in a little.
Okay, so there's all of you right there. See, there you guys are. Okay. But I want to show you where, let me go see. There was an example, and this is the example that I want to see. Okay, enter, reflection essay. All right. Huh, I'm not sure why it's not showing me. Okay. There was supposed to be, in this particular lesson, someone had submitted an example, but it's not there right now. But I mean, this is you guys, so, you know, this is my view as an instructor. I would see what you submitted, and I would, so this is not what you will see. Let me see, this is intergrades, that's what I would do, but no, that's not, yeah, that is so strange why it's not letting me look at the example that was there. Okay, essay. And then let's go again to, that's the, I'm sorry, that's the, not the essay, this is the essay. And here, submit assignment, it's gonna take me to the same spot. Okay, all right. There was an assignment that was submitted here. I may upload it again so you can get an idea of what an essay looks like within Populi for this course. And you should have it hopefully next week so you can get an idea. But then again, that's kind of the layout of what you'll find within a course. Your assignments, like I said, this is where you find your files for the course. The discussions are all here. So you could access them both like in the lesson. Remember when I showed you? There's a discussion, or you could access it here as well. In your calendar, this would be helpful for you too, because it'll show you when your assignments are coming due. It's gonna be there. You'll be able to see when they come due. But remember what I told you, but also as your instructor has set up your course, when you first open the course at the dashboard, the alert will be right here telling you when an assignment is due or something's coming up for you. See right here, your schedule already here lets you know you have a reflection coming up on Wednesday. So that's where so Populi will help you also give you alerts and let you know what's coming up. And let me double check, yeah. I wanted to see, your grade book would be here to see your grades. Here's where you'll be able to, you won't see everybody else's, you'll just see your particular, you'll be the one, as a student, you'll be able to see your grades throughout the 8 weeks of the different assignments. Okay, so that's the online tutorial. And so basically what this helps you is kind of just get a feel of what your courses are going to be, how they're going to be laid out. So you don't really need to, like I said, turn any assignments for any of these courses. They're just helping you. Now, but I did want you to, so that's for the online learning. Let me go to the, to your D12 real quick, because there are 2 assignments here. And basically you're going to submit them in your discussion, and they're not very difficult. So let's go to your lesson. Let's go to, let me see, where did I put that? In your discussions, that's where it's at. Okay, so if we open the A to Z database, what I asked you to do is that you will access the A through Z databases and use the databases descriptions to locate 10 databases related to the topic of their choosing. So what I want you to do is I want you to choose one of these, and then I want you to, in the discussion here, I want you to practice, basically, is what I'm asking. It's not for grade or anything, but it's for you to interact with D12. So how do I go to D12? Remember, I told you can go up here, or in your very lesson in how to use it, you can as well go to quick search. And here, that's a quick search, but we wanted to do the A through Z, which is right here. So you can click on your A through Z there. And let's say, for example, we were looking at, let me close that out. I want to, all right. All right, let's say, for example, on that instruction, let's say you wanted to, you're going to look at, I think there was feminist theology, right? That's not spelled correctly. Okay, then you search. So now, I get these different books, but what I wanted to do, let me go back. I want to do my database, actually. So I want to do, don't do that, because that's a quick search. The databases are here. So what you want to do is look at, let's see it under F, or maybe, yes. No, that's not what I want to see.
Hey, doctor, this is what I ran into when I was doing this earlier this week.
Yes.
I did the first part of the practice where we had to look up the topic. I took like the black church.
Yeah.
I looked that up. I got the 10 books. I got the 10 articles. I listed
Good.
them. But then I went to this to look for databases. Now it didn't list out. It only listed out one database.
Okay.
So in other words, you can't go to all subjects because the subjects would not list those
Right.
topics. You know what I mean? It's just basically looking at general subjects. So I kind of hit a roadblock here and said, I don't know if this is going to really give me a bunch of other databases that will, support my my
What you're
top.
looking for, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's do this. Okay, you're right. It's not letting you do that. I thought it would let you do that. Okay, so basically with that, in case, for example, I'll switch those instructions to basically, let's say you want to find a database. Let's go, for example, let's go to C and click this off. It's not letting me go there because of that. All right. All right, so let's say, for example, we want to go into, let's say we want to do sermons, okay? So let me let you do this. For that particular assignment, just why don't you select a database and just find sources that you want. Let's say, for example, we'll go here, we'll do first name John, And let's do last name Wesley. And that's basically any book in the Bible. Let's do salvation. And let's see what we find. And oh, there I go. Then I get these different sermons. So basically what I can basically do here in this one, I'll just pretty much want you to just kind of do this. Let me see if I copy and paste. Copy, right? And then.
Why am I taking this class? This thing, I'm about to drop out.
Why is that?
Oh!
No, don't be discouraged. You can do this. Let's see. All right. Pretty much then what you can do, and just to give you an example. You know, I have that, and then I can, you know, find some more sermons within that database and get about 10 sermons and then just upload that.
So you have to do it one by one. You have to go copy and paste it in a document and then copy the 10 and then paste it where you want it.
You could, yeah, or you can go directly to, or you can do this. Let's say you can go directly to that assignment where we were at. Let me show you. Okay. Let me close these out. So they're still out of these other ones.
If you go to submit assignment, well, it gives you the text box and you can just paste inside of there.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, you go directly there in the library. And let's go to that lesson specifically, to that discussion that we're talking about here and at the bottom.
Yeah, I'll probably
it's
put
there,
it
right there, see? And then I go to my next one. And then when I have my 10, I'll just submit it, add comment, and that's mine. So it's not that difficult. What I'm trying to have you do is interact with the databases pretty much. So it's not so much that, you know, what we want you to be able to do is, okay, so if I'm going to do a certain topic, if I want to, in that case, you know, I mean, you're going to have, you know, you might have a course on homiletics and preaching. You know, this will be, you know, what you wanted to submit, the different type of sermons that you'll find, and you can put in different names. But that's just one, but, you know, you can list about 10. That's an example, and you can do so with any other database that you find. I just want what I want in this particular, like I said, discussions were for you to get familiar with utilizing both the databases and the quick search. And the quick search, like you were saying, it won't be difficult, because when I go to D2L on the quick search, so let's go back to D2L. This is the quick search right here. So let's say I want to do Latin America, let's say Latino church. I click on that. And then it starts to give me, here are the books, right? And how do I know that I can get articles? Here where you find the articles in the books. So you click on those and just find 5 of each or 10 of each, like I said, and you just copy and paste. And then we just want to be able for you to get familiar with utilizing D2L. So I only have like 10 minutes before we're done. Any specific questions? I know I've looked at the Latino church, and I mean, not the Latino church, the library and the online learning. Let me just kind of go real quick to the research one that I didn't really look at with you. And here, this one here basically gives you, you know, what it is that you're going to want to be able to, how to be writing for NSBT. You know, if you go into these lessons, it gives you you know, what the type of skills that you want to have as you get through the core skills and ideas as you look at this, and you know, basically, you know, the type of the concepts of writing process skills, reading and thinking skills, research skills. This is what we want you, as you go through your journey at NSBT, by the time you finish, to have these abilities. Now, when you look at this, this looks very similar to what? Up here. It's these right here. It's the very same things. But now you're having it in the course. You're having it in orientation. I just wanted you to be able to interact that way. The only thing that you don't have in the library links is, let's see, I think this one here, and then this information here. That, you know, I'm just the one that is the Director of Information Literacy, and just gives you that. But the rest of that is already in the library link. So you're gonna, you know, pretty much the same. What you found in the library link, it's right here as well. So it just helps you. I know it's a lot of information, but this is what we wanted you, as you do online learning. I know Yolanda made a good point and asked, when is the meeting with the professor? That's all up to the professor. The professor decides to have any, you know, Zoom time with you, because pretty much it's self-directed, self-study. You have me as access to help you locate, you know, how to access information. Feel free to contact me through these courses and afterwards. But another way that you can also get help, see here up on top, click help. All right, so let's say you're trying to figure out something on Populi. You can go to their search knowledge base, and for students, click on that, and it begins to give you information here. Or you can basically say you want to find out, how do I submit essays? You click on that, and it begins to give you a list of items of how to submit as a student, or, you know, or discussion. You click on that, and okay, say for example, I don't find anything that's helpful. I can submit a request, and you put your subject, you know, say, you know, how do I, you know, reset, you know, my password. Just to say, and then you can find it here. It tells you right there, so you can click on it. Or if for whatever reason you want to have some other specific issue with that, and you can write your concern, and then you submit it. If you're able to take a screenshot of the issue you're having, you put it here and you submit it, and then Populi within a few hours will begin to give you response to that issue that you have. So you have me as a resource, but then you also have Populi, who can give you answers to your questions. So let me show you this one thing that I just did. Okay, so I showed you that you can search on their knowledge base, but you can open a request right here as well, and then view your request that you've made. So you can open a request right here, just like I was showing you, and you submit it. Say you prefer to just ask directly, and you can as well. Okay.
So wait, real quick, right?
Yes, go ahead.
Monday comes around.
Yeah.
Starting my day, I log into Populi. I look up the lessons, view that, and then maybe start on my assignments. Like, is that you really cultivate what your day looks like?
Yeah, you are basically, what's really nice about this, it's self-study. The only thing that I would advise that you guys really take note is when the assignments are due that week, because that's how you want to manage your time.
Okay.
Because it's pretty much what the instructor is going to give you. You're going to be, you know, you're going to, for example, I think with Dr. Urban, he's going to require you guys in the first few days to submit a video introduction, you know, of yourself, just introducing yourself and just uploading a 3-minute to 5-minute intro of your own self. So that's one of the assignments. And then next week, I think there might be some discussion, but what will begin to happen, you're going to get a routine of how, if I'm not mistaken, right now in his course, his due dates are Wednesday nights, and then I believe Sunday morning or late Saturday night. So that's when you'll be submitting assignments and then doing discussion. So, but yeah, that's a good question. Pretty much it's a self-study. And like I said, unless he doesn't require you guys to meet, you won't. The reason why I'm meeting with you all is so that if there were questions with you're interacting with these orientation and tutorials, you can pose them. So let's say, hey, you know, I didn't really engage with these tutorials or orientations. Feel free in any of those courses, if you're doing the online one or you're doing the orientation on the library or on research, write in the bulletin board your comment or question so that everybody can see and I can respond to those particular questions, okay? Because sometimes you may have a question that someone else has and I respond to it, and then you got your response as well. Any other questions or comments that you have?
I have a question.
Yes, Lucia. Or I'm sorry, who? Yeah, go.
Christy had a question here.
Yes, Chris, go ahead.
So those screenshots that you showed a few minutes ago that had due dates of July 1st and certain things that were due,
yeah.
Those screenshots are not particular to us.
No. That's, like I said, it's a sample course.
Okay.
It was just an example of what it might look like for you. You don't have anything due. The only thing that you have due is in the library, but it's not graded. You know, it's just, I just want you to interact with the D2L.
Okay, got it.
So with the orientation and the tutorials, there's no assignments for you really. I mean, just those two things, but that's for the interaction with the quick search and the database. But everything else, it's you know, it's basically for you to kind of get used to what we want for you to know online learning, what you need to know for the library, and as well what you want to know to do the research. So feel free within those specific orientations, just write in the bulletin board any of your comments, questions, or you can email me. But it'd be better in the bulletin board so everybody else can see, and that way they can also.
So we should email you and copy all our classmates?
No, let me show you what I mean. So let's go for like example here at the research, and say you go to your dashboard, okay?
Yeah.
Here's your bulletin board. Say you have a question, and you want to say, Dr. Nolivos, you know, I have a question, you know, and you have your question, and just go ahead, or you have a comment. Okay. Oh, you know, something, Dr. Nolivos, something's not, you know, this link is not working. Boom, and then you just post it here, and it'll show up like this, and then everybody else can read it, and everybody else can make a comment as well and reply to it. So
maybe my peers could answer my question and not necessarily you?
Not necessarily. I mean, some may be able to say, hey, I already done this. You can do it this way. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm having problems with the barcode, but that is something I'm going to try again.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to enter the library.
Okay.